This is Fieldsports Channel News. With tens of thousands of pigeon shooters out around the country, it falls to Greater Manchester Police to try and close it down. James Crowther, who runs the Upperwood estate, was out pigeon shooting with his friends at the weekend when they saw armed police behind riot shields advancing across the field towards them. The pigeon shooters unloaded and put down their guns, showed their certificates, but the police seized the shotguns anyway. Police told the shooters they were acting on a complaint. The farmer came to see what the disturbance was and told the police that he'd asked for the crop protection and given permission. Despite the illegality of their position, the police decided not to budge and have still not returned the shotguns.
They've seized our guns on the afternoon after the pigeon shooting, so we had to stop. So now, with no reason why they're holding them, and we're struggling doing our gamekeeping now.
A water company that owns large tracts of England's uplands thanks to privatisation plans to ban grouse shooting. United Utilities announces that all shoot leases on its land will be terminated when they next come up for renewal. The water company supplies water across the northwest of England. It announces that by 2027, at the latest, all licences to shoot grouse on its land will not be renewed, closing down around 30 shoots. United Utilities has handed management contracts for some of its land to conservation industry bodies, such as the RSPB, which has allowed wildfires due to poor management. BASC's North Director, Duncan Thomas, says United Utilities made the Grousemore decision with no consultation with the wider rural community.
You see behind me the mighty Bowland Fells, including in the distance the incredible Crowsdale Moor, a United Utilities estate, where their United Utilities have chosen to end a unique symbiotic relationship between, yes, water catchment, but also farming and the shooting interests. This will undoubtedly damage relationships, community and wildlife. Disgraceful.
An MP is asking the government to take urgent action over the GL43 licence crisis. Sir Geoffrey Clifton Brown is the chairman of the all-party parliamentary group on shooting and conservation, and he is vice president of BASC. The MP for the Cotswolds raised the issue in Westminster as part of a journable debate. He says DEFRA took the decision in full knowledge of the shooting calendar when birds had already hatched and gave only a few days' notice of a significant policy change. DEFRA says that circumstances did not permit consultation.
This decision taken by DEFRA in the full knowledge of the shooting calendar and communicated to shoots, even though birds had already been ordered and were about to be released, has caused chaos around the country and has resulted in an animal welfare crisis, threatened redundancies, shoot closures, bankruptcies of rural businesses. In short, this is a disaster for rural affairs.
The First Minister of Wales says he can't understand why farmers can't grow trees. NFU Cymru says proposals to turn 10% of all farmland in Wales over to trees did not make business sense. The new sustainable farming scheme is set to take effect in 2025 in Wales, replacing EU-era payments that had been worth over £300 million a year to Welsh farms. Mark Drakeford told BBC Wales, "I think it will be a puzzle to many people, the idea that farmers can't grow trees." The chief executive of the John Muir Trust has been placed on leave. The owner of the controversial Quinag estate in the Scottish Highlands says it's carrying out an independent review, and its chief executive, who's been in the job since 2019, is on leave while it conducts the investigation. The Trust representatives declined to provide any further details of the ongoing situation, citing issues of privacy. Quinag estate has been at the centre of a media storm over whether John Muir Trust should kill so many deer that neighbouring estates can't offer deer stalking. John Muir Trust uses the massacre of Scottish deer as the basis for fundraising. The Countryside Alliance is launching the Hunting for Action initiative. It says it recognises the threats facing trail hunting and highlights how hunts and hunt supporters can take action to help secure hunting with hounds for generations to come. It says the field sports community must take action now to persuade politicians there's no case to strengthen the law. It says upholding the highest standards on and off the hunting field, promoting lawful hunting activities and offering reassurance that all hunting activity is legitimate will help to build public support for hunting with hounds and reduce the risk of hostile legislation. A Yorkshire shooting estate has raised £165,000 for Parkinson's UK. Water Priory held 2 clay shoots and a ball to support the charity. Shoot staff gave their time and help for free. Next year, the estate will be hosting a charity clay shoot and bush beaters ball in aid of the Countryside Alliance. Links below. Scottish firefighters say that muirburn is an essential part of their toolkit to prevent wildfires. At a summit on wildfires in Scotland, land managers urged the Scottish Government to listen to fire experts and recognise the value. Deputy Assistant Chief Officer Bruce Farquharson pointed to the importance of tools like muirburn and how it can help mitigate the wildfire risk. He's concerned about the Scottish Government's new restrictions on muirburn, which are part of a bill being debated at Holyrood. He urges politicians not to ban or restrict muirburn.
The burning is done at very specific times of year and for specific purposes as well, and the breeding season is always in mind when burning is conducted. When the fire service, a very respected organisation, is asking and pleading with the Scottish Government not to have this particular tool from the toolkit removed from them, it's going to be a very brave or a very silly politician who fails to listen to them.
An American angler caught not just a fish, but a rod. Ben Kenny from Massachusetts went fishing in the Atlantic and landed a fishing rod with a giant striped bass still hooked up to it. He shared this video on Instagram saying it's one of the craziest things that has happened to him. And finally, sheep in Scotland are to get guard dogs to protect them from sea eagles. It's the experiment of Jonathan Ames, who helped us in our first episode of Fieldsports Britain when he brought a cheetah to hunt rabbits in Essex. Now he runs Rothiemurcus Falconry in Inverness and has 2 Maremma sheepdogs, a mastiff breed from Switzerland bred to guard sheep from wolves. He hopes to train them to guard sheep from eagles. He has called his livestock guardian dogs Luigi and Peaches. You are now to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.